So, hello everyone. I am Carl Adrian Itan of Group iTech to be reporting database administration. Database administration, or DBA, is the practice of managing, maintaining, and securing data storage systems to ensure that they are available, performant, and safe. So, in database administrations, we have what we call database administrators. A database administrator's job is often split into three main categories, no? Operations, which is yung daily operations nila, security, which is yung database security, and performance, which is yung kung gaano kabilis yung machine and systems nila. Database backups and restores are also a fundamental component of operations, serving as the primary strategy for disaster recovery and business continuity para kapag nagkaroon ng error or something like a kalamidad, meron silang plan on how to get back up on their feet. So, in this topic, let's discuss database backups. So, I will discuss the three types of database backups, pero there are actually four types. Pero based on our example kasi mas applicable siya sa three types na to. So, ang three types ng backups na aking i-discuss is first is yung full backup. Full backup is a complete copy of the entire database at a specific point in time. Is incremental. It only backs up the data that has changed since the last backup. So, incremental means wala siyang pakialam kung full backup siya or differential as long as last changes yung tinitingnan niya. And yung hindi nasama dito is yung differential backup. So, si differential backup naman, it only backs up the data that has changed since the last full backup. Ayun si differential. Ayun ang pinagkaiba ni incremental and differential. Lastly, si transactional naman, it only backs up the transaction logs to enable point-in-time recovery. So, nagbabase siya sa binary logs kung ano yung binago and ano yung dinagdag or binawas sa ating database system. So, as an example on how these types of backups handle each other's storage and their usability. Suppose that we have an online comic store and we gather a total of 4 megabytes of data a day. And as a policy, we have a 1-week retention period for our backups. So, paano natin si full backup, no? So, si full backup is a complete copy of the entire database at a specific point in time. So, ibig sabihin, buo siya kapag binabackup mo siya. Whether it's the second day or the third day, palaging full yung ginagawa mo sa kanya. And remember, our retention period is 1 week. So, hindi tayo pwede mag-delete ng day 2 or day 3. So, kailangan natin siyang i-keep until day 8. So, ang pros nito is simple backup strategy. So, syempre, dump mo lang siya into a single file. It's also the fastest recovery time in terms of like the syntaxes itself and kung paano siya i-recover. Hindi siya yung pinakamabilis pagdating sa recovery kasi malaki yung size ng mismong file the more you go on. The next naman na pros niya is it is a complete snapshot of the database kung kailan mo siya binackup. So, sabihin natin, binackup mo siya ngayong 12 or sabihin natin 3:51 AM. So, ibig sabihin, kung ano yung laman ng 3:51 AM na backup mo, ayun mismo yung mababackup mo or masasave mo sa kanya. Kasi, it is a literal snapshot. Ang cons niya, sadly, it requires significant storage space, no? Kasi, the more you fully back up your system, nag-a-add siya na nag-a-add. Especially sa atin na Ang example kasi natin is 1 week retention period. So may kita natin sa example mamaya, i-discuss ko kung ano yung nagiging effect niya sa storage. So it also takes longer to complete. The more you progress on the days or the storage sizes. Also resource intensive siya. So kailangan mo ng malakas na processing units and mataas na storage and RAM to handle full backups effectively. So may kita natin, meron akong graph dito. So sa graph ko kasi nakalagay, on the y-axis natin is yung backup size natin. And sa x-axis, which is yung horizontal, is yung timeline natin on days. So sa day 1, meron tayong 8 megabyte na full backup. So since full backup lang ang ginagamit natin, wala tayong ginagamit na incremental, differential, wala rin tayong ginagamit na transactional. So, anong nangyayari dyan? Sa second day mo, ang ibabackup mo na sa kanya is 12 megabytes na. Kasi plus 4, diba, every day. So, magpa-plus 4 ka ulit sa third day. Pero since full backup siya, hindi mo pwedeng i-plus 4 lang. Kailangan mong i-backup yung buo. So, ibig sabihin, imbis na plus 4 lang yung gagawin mo sa backup mo, plus 16. Kasi ang last backup mo is plus 12. Vice versa. So, yung plus 16 mo equals 36 na sa third day. Yung total storage mo na nare-retain mo. Next niya na, dahil plus 16 plus 20 na. So, yung 36 mo naging 56. Going on the levels to the point na naging 140 siya. Pagdating ng 8th day, tinanggal mo yung retented na data mo, which is yung 8 gig nung first day. Pero dahil sobrang laki ng nadadagdag, useless yung pagkakaroon nyo ng data retention policy. On the next naman, we have an incremental backup. So sa incremental backup, it backs up the data changed since the last backup. Hindi siya differential na binabackup niya lang kung kailan yung last na full backup. So, ang pros ni incremental naman, minimal lang yung storage requirements niya, faster din yung backup process, less din yung impact niya sa system performance. Pero sadly, mas complex yung recovery process niya kasi kailangan mo ng combination ng full backup tapos lahat ng incremental changes mo. And mas higher din ang risk na kapag nagkamali ka ng backup ng isa, mali na lahat. So, para siyang may chain reaction na effect kung magkakamali ka ng recovery process sa kanya. Pero, if you look at our graph naman, compared to before, mas malinis na siya. Hindi na siya umaabot ng 140 megabytes na pababa natin. Kasi, sa first day natin, nag-full backup tayo. Kailangan yon for incremental and transactional and differential. Ang base palagi nila is full backup sa database. So, nag-full backup tayo ng database. After nun, nag-incremental tayo ng 4 megabytes. So, dahil nag-incremental tayo ng 4 megabytes, nag-incremental ulit tayo ng third day. Pero sadly, pag incremental kasi, the more the days go on na puro incremental ang ginagawa mo, mas mahirap siyang ibalik sa kanyang normal state. Kasi iisa-isahin mo yung table niya. So, mahirap siyang ibalik kung ganun yung process na susundin mo. So, instead of doing an incremental on the 4th day ulit, finull backup natin siya. So, dahil plus 4 yon, so 16 plus 4, full backup. On the 4th day, 20 megabytes na yung nadagdag. So, balik ulit tayo sa 36. Pero this time, hindi katulad ng before, sa 3rd day, 36 na kagad. Ngayon, sa 4th day na tayo nag-36. So, plus 4 ulit, naging 40. Plus 4, naging 44. Pero look at day 7. Nag-peak siya ng 48 na dagdag. Dahil 48 plus 4 is 48 megabytes. Tapos, kailangan pa nating i-retain yung 8 gig na naunang nating finull backup. So, in total, 92 siya. So, on the 8th day, nadagdagan ulit ng 4 megabytes pero nabawasan na tayo ng day 1 na redundant na data na siya. So, tinanggal na natin siya kasi wala na siya sa data retention policy ng 1 week lang. So, on the next slide naman, we have the transactional backup. So, sa transactional backup kasi, it backs up transaction logs or binary logs in terms to enable point-in-time recovery. Ito yung mga madalas na ginagamit sa mga bangko, sa mga e-commerce sites, sa mga, sabihin na natin, parang real-time regarding sa data handling nila. Yung bawal silang malate, bawal silang may downtime. So, ang pros nila is minimal data loss. Kasi sa logs lang sila nagre-recover ng data, hindi sila nagre-recover from the database itself. Although pag nag-recover ka from logs, syempre, kasama dun yung pag-recover ng database. Small frequent backups din siya, hindi siya chunks, kumbaga katulad ng differential. Hindi rin siya like mataas yung downtime, so very essential siya for high availability systems like emergency systems, banking systems. Ang cons niya lang sadly is very careful ka dapat sa pag-manage ng binary logs mo. Especially sa naming scheme, kailangan kabisado mo kung paano mo siya pinapangalanan, kung ano yung format mo sa dates para pag na-recover mo siya, hindi ka mahihirapan. Although mas madali siya i-recover kumpara sa incremental. Kaya kung mapapansin natin, hindi tayo nag full backup. Nag-full backup lang tayo nung day 7 na. Kasi, kaya tayo nag-full backup nung day 7 na, remember, kailangan mo ng isang full backup para makapag-incremental. So, sa day 8, wala na yung full backup mo. So, ibig sabihin, sa day 7, kailangan mo na ulit mag-full backup. Ayun yung dahilan kung bakit nag-full backup tayo ng day 7. If wala tayong retention policy ng 1 week, siguro pwede nating paabutin siya ng 14 days. Even 21 days kung maayos talaga yung handling ng logs. Pero it should always be combined with other backup types. On the next slide, ito naman kung paano mag-initiate ng full backup. So, ito yung sa unang syntax natin, yung San Cubite, it's just a username para sa ating user sa Windows. So, at desktop -pb5 IEQE, ayan lang yung pangalan ng Windows PC or device natin. So, makikita natin, beside that is may directory tayo. Dito babagsak yung SQL file kapag full backup natin siya. So, simple lang ang syntax ng full backup. It's just MySQL dump -u root -p yung pangalan ng database na gusto mong i-backup. Tapos, greater than arrow, meaning parang nilalabas mo siya. Paturo siya sa labas. So, after that, yung pangalan lang ng file, .sql. So, this is a complete copy of the entire database at a specific point in time. These commands dump the full backup of the specific database named bank to the file name fullbackup.sql. So, sa next naman, we have an incremental backup. So, sa syntax niya is MySQL dump -u root -p. Pero dito na siya naiiba. So, gagamit tayo ng double hyphen na databases bank, meaning yung database lang na pangalan yung bank yung gagamitin natin. Double hyphen ulit, single transaction, meaning isang balik lang siya. Double hyphen ulit, flush logs. Kaya tayo nag-flush logs is para mag-generate tayo ng binary logs for incrementational backup natin mamaya. So, may kita rin natin na rin tayo ng double hyphen master hyphen data is equal to 2. So, arrow, yung pangalan ng file. Just like that. So, ngayon, after nun, i-flush na natin dahil na natin, parang na-rotate na natin or na-loop na natin yung ating full backup, na initiate na natin yung flush. So, pwede na tayo mag-start mag-increments. So, every time na magba-backup tayo incrementally, we will just type the MySQL admin -u root -p flush -logs. So, ayun yung incremental changes niya. So, kung may gusto tayong i-backup ngayon, tatype mo lang yun. Pero kung gusto mo na ulit the full backup, itatype mo yung mysql-u-root-p database name greater than tapos file name. Ayun yung parang pag gusto mo na siyang i-exit from incrementation. After nun, ito naman sa differential. So, same logic here. Yung San Cavite, it's the same lang ulit kanina, username lang yun. So, skip na natin yun. Pero dito na tayo sa mismong code. So, makikita natin dito, meron tayong mysql dump -u-root-p, pangalan ng database natin. Tapos, pangalan ng table. Tapos, double hyphen where. Yung double hyphen where na to, this is a condition na sinet natin. Na ang kukunin niya lang is yung mga data na created at greater than or equal, meaning after ng date specified. So, 2025, September 28. So, ibig sabihin, 2025, September 28, 000001. So, 1 second past midnight. So, and created at less than or equal to 2025-10-03 23:00:00. So, meaning nito, kunin mo lahat ng data na ginawa between September 28 midnight and October 3, 2025, 11 p.m. Tapos, i-dump mo siya sa file na transaction.sql. Ayun yung syntax niya. So, this syntax logically creates a backup of all changes since the last full backup. So, dito naman tayo sa transactional. So, maalala natin kanina sa incremental, nag-initiate muna tayo ng parang loop or rotation para mag-start yung logs ng isang full backup, diba? So, same idea lang din sa transactional. So, sa transactional naman, mas complicated lang yung restoration niya, pero parehas lang sila ng process ni incremental pagdating sa ganong idea. So, every time na may changes tayo na gustong i-save, i-flush lang natin siya sa logs. So, by doing this, you in turn create a backup of all changes to your database. So, lahat. Hindi lang siya sa nag-iisang database mo. Magiging maayos lang siya kapag in-start na natin siyang i-restore. Doon na siya magiging transactional. Yung idea niya, doon na siya ma-apply. So here, on database restoration, database restoration is basically yung pag-restore natin ng database values or data and information to our SQL engine or anything na nagpa-process ng ating data into readable information. So, first is yung full restore. So, matatandaan natin yung full backup kanina is mysql dump -u-root-p greater than tapos yung directory, yung file name, diba? So, baliktad naman dito. Babaliktarin lang natin yung arrow niya kasi parang kinukuha na natin from the file to our engine yung laman. So, ang syntax niya is mysql-u-root-p less than naman ngayon. Tapos, yung directory kung saan natin kukunin yung laman ng file. So, this syntax restores a full backup of a specified database SQL file. So, added note lang, no? Kung may VS Code kayo or anything code-related na application, pwede nyong actually i-view yung mismong SQL file. May kita nyo doon na literal na commands siya na SQL para mag-create ng tables, mag-insert ng data, and mag-create ng parang foreign key dependencies, mag-create ng constraints doon mismo sa SQL file. Kaya, pag clinic niyo yung SQL file and view niyo as text file, I think mas makakatulong siyang makuha niyo yung logic pagdating sa ganun. So, next is incremental restore. Same lang din. Pero, when it comes to incremental, so, re-restore muna natin yung full backup. So, pag na-restore na natin yung full backup niya, doon na natin gagawin yung incrementational na restore natin. So, i-restore natin yung binary log ni MySQL bin log double hyphen database is equal to bank. So, meaning yung database lang na bank. So, directory ng binary log, yung 5 zeros 2, tapos 5 zeros 3. Tapos, makikita natin na meron tayong MySQL -u-root-p. That's an engine-specific na command para direkta na siyang magpapasok. Ginamit lang natin siya para mapasok sa isang linya yung code natin para hindi na tayo magpahaba ng Pero you can do the binary log without doing that naman. So while the syntax restores a specific database name bank directly to our DBMS. So, syempre, kung iba yung engine na gamit mo, iba rin yung gagamitin mo dun sa dulo. Iba rin yung gagamitin mo dito sa harap kasi what if PostgreSQL ka? So, hindi mo pwedeng gamitin si MySQL. So, next naman, si differential restore. Si differential restore naman is parang binabalik lang natin yung differential backup natin. So, MySQL -u-root-p less than arrow. Syempre, full backup muna. Pag na full backup na natin siya, ibabalik na natin yung differential, which is yung changes since the full backup. So, MySQL -u-root-p database name arrow na less than. So, differential _Wednesday. So, kaya lang siya naging differential _Wednesday kasi itong file na to, yung example natin, is changes lang to ng mga nagbago since Wednesday. So, mag-overlap siya sa mga nagbago ng full backup. So, when we get this logic, kung Wednesday lang yung pinasok natin, ibig sabihin, Wednesday lang yung mga nabago lang ng Wednesday yung mababackup natin. Wala yung literal na buong laman ng full backup. So, ibig sabihin, lahat ng binago before Wednesday, hindi natin mababackup kung uunahin natin yon. So, same idea kung inuna nating i-restore yung SQL ng differential ng Wednesday, tapos full backup natin na restore, mapapatungan ng full backup na restore yung pinaka-recent na differential natin. So, it's not logically viable. So, kailangan tama yung pagkakasunod-sunod mo sa restore. Or else, magkakaroon ka ng instances where magugulat ka na lang, yung data mo, wala siya dun sa database na ginawa mo. So, next naman, transactional restore. So, MySQL -u-root-p, full backup ulit to. This syntax restores a full backup of a specified database SQL file. Lagi tayong merong full backup, as I've said before, when it comes to transactional, differential, and incremental restores and backups. So, makita natin dito, hindi na siya katulad ng incremental kanina. Kasi sa incremental kanina, makita natin na ang kinuha lang natin yung changes ng database na bank, tapos specific lang na binary logs. Pero when we look at the transactional restore, very complicated and very to the point na siya. So, kailangan alam mo talaga yung syntaxes na ginagamit mo when it comes to this. So, MySQL binary log _database bank. So, ayun lang ulit. Bank na database yung kinukuha natin. So, ignore the other rest sinasabi natin sa engine. So, :stop -date time. So, ibig sabihin, yung pag-i-stopan niya na petsa or date sa binary logs or sa backup is yung specified condition mo na sinet doon, which is itong November 22, 2025, 9:54 a.m. Remember, kapag when it comes to time sa SQL, it's always the 24-hour format or the military format. So, 23:00:00 is equal to 11 p.m. Meanwhile, 13:00:00 is equal to 1 p.m. So, next nun is yung directory ng unang binary log na kukuhaan natin. After nun, yung pangalawa. After nun, yung pangatlo. Tapos, engine specific ulit para hindi na natin siya iaano sa ibang linya. So, next naman, dahil tapos na tayo doon, is itong key recovery types. Meron tayong tinatawag na recovery types kasi syempre hindi naman palagi magiging successful yung operation ng recovery mo. So, we have designated types for those. So, first is yung complete recovery. So, na-recover mo yung database mo from the point of failure, no? With no data loss using transactional logs. So, ibig sabihin nito, you've done a really good job as a database administrator kung complete recovery yung nagawa mo. Kasi, from the error itself, nabawi mo lahat ng lost data using just the transactional logs. So, meron din tayong tinatawag na point-in-time recovery. So, point-in-time recovery naman, hindi siya katulad ng complete recovery na pati yung corrupted data is nabawi mo. So, point-in-time recovery, nabalik mo lang siya to a working state. Ayun yung meaning ng point-in-time recovery. So, nabalik mo siya before magkaroon ng corruption yung sa data. Partial recovery, meanwhile, is not very good when it comes to recovery. It means kasi na specific tables pa lang yung na-restore mo, yung schemas pa lang, or like wala pa yung mga values niya, wala pa yung laman. So, syempre, partial recovery yon. So, ayun pa lang yung stage na mo. So, next naman is yung database migration recovery. So, database migration recovery is a special case ng recovery type. Kasi, ito, nangyayari lang to kapag lilipat kayo, usually, na provider, database provider or cloud hoster nyo. So, kunwari, lilipat kayo from Azure to AWS. So, magde-database migration recovery kayo. Although, hindi siya failure, pero recovery type pa rin siya. Next is recovery objectives. So, meron tayong tinatawag na RTO, meron din tayong tinatawag na RPO. So, si RTO kasi, ito yung maximum acceptable time to restore usual operations after a significant failure sa database nyo. So, RTO defines how long, kung gaano kahaba yung tolerable na business downtime nyo. So, bago kayo maging business operable, ayun yung sinasabi ni RTO. So, for example, kung bangko ka, or actually, ito mas recent na example, si Cloudflare, nagkaroon siya ng error where services niya stopped worldwide. So, ang RTO ni Cloudflare, syempre sobrang baba kasi Cloudflare is an internet provider for globe internationally. So kailangan pag nagkaroon sila ng error, mababa yung RTO nila na kailangan in 2 hours or actually in under an hour maayos na natin tong gantong issue. Or else maraming affected, and syempre as a business, kung maraming affected dahil sa downtime nyo, it's a bad look on your business. So, mas preferably, mababa ang RTO. Pero, doesn't mean na dapat unrealistic yung RTO mo. So, maintain reason when it comes to RTO and recovery objectives in general. So, sa RPO naman, recovery point objective. It is a maximum acceptable amount of data loss measured in time. So this defines how much data your business can afford to lose. So for example, an RPO of 15 minutes means you can lose up to 15 minutes of transactions. So kung Shopee ka, hindi siya pwede. Kasi what if nawala yung 15 minutes worth ng transaction? Yan, nawala nga yung 15 minutes ng cart. Pero nawala rin yung 15 minutes ng mga nabayaran na orders. So, hindi siya applicable. Same with banks and other very real-time na businesses. Meanwhile, kung hotels naman, so sabihin natin nawala yung 15 minutes ng reservations nyo. So sa 15 minutes wala naman ganung wala naman siguro nagre-reserve lang ng 15 minutes. Like why bother reserving, 'di ba? So in those kinds of cases, very acceptable ang 15 minutes na RPO mo. So depende kasi sa business or sa use case nyo, magva-vary talaga yung RTO and RPO nyo. So that's all for my presentation po. On the next presentation naman is database security, kung paano siya handle. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I'm Jasmine Eunice Latoha and today I'm gonna talk about database security. Common threats: SQL injection, malicious SQL code inserted through applications inputs to manipulate or access unauthorized data. Ito yung mga madalas na atake o rason kung bakit nako-compromise ang database natin. SQL injection: select asterisk from users where username is equals to double quotation plus user input plus double quotation semicolon. Ito yung technique na nag-i-insert ang hacker ng malicious SQL code sa input forms tulad ng login box. Niloloko nila ang system para basahin ito as a command. For example, sa halip na username lang, maglalagay sila ng code like asterisk or 1 is equals to 1 dahil laging true ang 1 is equals to 1. Mapapalitan yung database na ilabas lahat ng users kahit walang password. Unauthorized access. Unauthorized access, attackers gaining access to database through weak authentication, stolen credentials, or privilege escalation. Simple lang, nakakapasok ang hindi dapat pumasok. Pwedeng dahil mahina ang password, like admin123, nananakaw ang login details o kaya naman may privilege escalation yung ordinary user naging admin bigla. Data breaches. Data breaches, exposure of sensitive data due to inadequate encryption, poor access controls, or security misconfigurations. Ito yung senaryo na nag-leak o na-expose ang sensitive data sa publiko. Nangyayari ito kapag hindi naka-encrypt ang files o kaya mali ang permissions at security settings ng isang server. Insider threats. Insider threats, malicious or negligent actions by authorized users. Insider threats or malicious negligent actions by unauthorized users who abuse their access privileges. Hindi lahat ng kalaban nasa labas. Ito yung mga threat galing sa loob, mga empleyado o former employees na may access. Pwedeng sinadya nila magnakaw ng data o pwede rin negligence, kapabayaan lang kaya nagka-virus. Denial of service or DOS. It is overwhelming database with requests to make it unavailable to legitimate users. Pinabaha ng attacker ang database ng sobrang daming requests hanggang sa maghang o bumigay ito. Ang result, hindi na ito magamit ng mga legitimate users. Malware and ransomware. Malicious software that can corrupt, encrypt, or steal database data. Software ito na nakakasira. Yung ransomware specific, i.e. i-encrypt niya yung database mo, tapos hihingi ng pera, ransom, para ibalik ang access sa'yo. Backup theft. Attackers targeting unencrypted or poorly secured backup files. Minsan secured ang main database pero nakalimutan i-secure ang backup files. Kapag nakuha ng hacker ang backup, kuha na rin nila ang lahat ng laman ng database mo. Security measures, mga paraan ng proteksyon. Ito ang mga solusyon para labanan ang mga threats na nabanggit sa taas. The first one is strong authentication. Enforce complex password policies. Implement multi-factor authentication or MFA. Use Windows authentication or LDAP integration. Regular password rotation. Dapat istrikto ang pag-login. Complex policies. Bawal ang 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dapat may numbers, symbols at uppercase. MFA or multi-factor authentication. Bukod sa password, dapat may OTP or app verification. Password rotation. Palitan ang password regularly. The next one is principle of least privilege or principle of least privilege. It grants users only the minimum permissions necessary for their role. Create role data_analyst semicolon. Grant select on CS_database *2 data_analyst semicolon. To assign user to role, you need to do grant data_analyst to John Doe at localhost and grant data_analyst to John Doe at localhost semicolon. Need to know basis lang dapat. Kung data analyst ka, select para ma-view or access lang dapat ang meron ka. Hindi mo kailangan ng delete or drop permissions. Limitado dapat ang power ng bawat user based sa trabaho nila. Input validation and parameterized queries. It prevents SQL injection by using prepared statements. Prepare statement from select asterisk from user where username is equals to semicolon. Set at username is equals to John.Doe semicolon. Execute statement using at username semicolon. Ito ang main defense sa SQL injection. Sa halip na idugtong concatenate lang yung input ng user sa queried string, gumamit ng preferred statements, dito tinatrato ng database ang input as purely data at hindi executable code, kaya safe kahit ano pang itype nila. Encryption. Data at rest. Encrypt database files and backups. Data in transit. Use SSL or TLS for database connections. Column level encryption. Encryption sensitive fields, SSN, credit cards. Enable SSL connection. Grant all privileges on *2 secure_user at %, and then require SSL semicolon. Kahit manakaw ang data, hindi nila ito mababasa kung naka-encrypt. Data at rest. Naka-encrypt yung mismong file sa hard drive. Data in transit. Naka-SSL or TLS habang bumabiyahe ang data sa internet gaya ng HTTPS. Column level. Yung mga super sensitive na info lang like credit card number ang naka-encrypt sa loob ng table. Regular auditing and monitoring. It enables database audit logs, monitor failed login attempts, track privileged user activities, set up alerts for suspicious behaviors. Enabled audit log, MySQL example. Set global general_log is equals to on semicolon. Set global log_output is equals to table semicolon. Parang CCTV ng database. Dapat laging naka-on ang logs para makita kung sino ang nag-login, anong oras at kung may nag-fail na login attempts. Sinyalis na baka may nag-brute force. Database firewalls. It implements network-level security to control database access based on IP addresses and rules. Security guards sa network level. Finifilter nito ang traffic, halimbawa, pwede mong iset na ang Halimbawa, pwede mong iset na ang opisina nyo lang ang pwedeng makakonect sa database, lahat ng ibang IP addresses, block na agad. Web Application Firewall or WAF. Regular security updates. Apply database vendor security patches promptly. Keep operating system and dependencies updated. Review and update security configurations. Huwag i-ignore ang updates. Lagi nagpa-patch ng database, software at OS dahil madalas may inaayos silang security holes doon. Access Control Lists or ACLs. It defines who can access what resources at the network and application level. Detalyadong listahan ito kung sinong user or group ang pwedeng gumalaw sa specific na network resources all Access Control Lists or ACLs or ACLS. It defines who can access what resources at the network and application level. Detalyadong listahan ito kung sinong user o group ang pwedeng gumalaw sa specific na network resource. Detalyadong listahan ito kung sinong user o group ang pwedeng gumalaw sa specific na network resources o files. Data masking. Data masking hides sensitive data from unauthorized users while maintaining data usability. Dynamic data masking example. Alter table customers. Alter column credit underscore card. Add mask with open and close parentheses. Function is equals to single quote partial and then yung card number nyo and then double quotation close and closing parenthesis, semicolon. Para ito sa privacy, pinapakita ang data pero may nakatago. For example, sa customer support, nakikita nila ang record mo pero XXXXX or puro X tapos 1234 lang ang lalabas na credit card number para hindi nila manakaw. Backup security. Encrypt backup files, store backups in secure separate locations, test backup restoration regularly, implement backup access controls, tratuhin ang backup na parang live database. I-encrypt ito, i-test kung gumagana at ilagay sa hiwalay na location off-site para kung masunog man ang server room may kopya pa rin. Database Activity Monitoring o DAM. Real-time monitoring and alerting for suspicious database activities and policy violations. Real-time na pagbabantay. Kapag may ginawang kakaibang isang user, halimbawa, nag-download ng buong table bigla, mag-a-alert agad ito sa admin. Best Practices Summary. Mga dapat tandaan. Query optimization. Use indexes on frequently queried columns. Avoid select asterisk in production code. Use explain to analyze query performance. Limit result sets with where clauses. Pabilisin ang database. Iwasan ang select asterisk kasi mabigat humatak ng lahat ng columns. Gumamit ng indexes para mabilis ang paghahanap at laging gumamit ng where clause para salain ang data. Data integrity. Define appropriate primary and foreign keys. Use concentrates. Check not null unique. Implement transactions for related operations. Regular data validation and cleanup. Data integrity. Data integrity. Define appropriate primary and foreign keys. Use constraints. Check not null unique. Implement transactions for related operations. Regular data validation and cleanup. Siguraduhing malinis at tama ang data. Gumamit ng primary keys para walang duplicate at foreign keys para connected ang related tables. Gumamit ng constraints tulad ng not null para bawal ang blanco. Maintenance. Schedule regular database maintenance windows. Monitor database performance metrics. Archive all data appropriately. Document database schema and changes. Regular na housekeeping or i-monitor kung bumabagal ba Maglinis ng lumang data, archiving, at siguraduhing updated ang documentation ng database schema. Security checklist. Strong authentication and authorization, regular security audits, encrypted connections and data, parameterized queries only, principle of least privilege, regular backups with testing, up-to-date security patches, and monitoring and alerting systems. Ito ang final run-through mo. Check mo kung meron ka ng strong passwords, regular audits, encryptions, backups, at kung updated ba ang patches. Kung check lahat yan, secured ang database mo.